Update: divorcing my husband for asking to be polyamorous. Original post: this is really upsetting to me on all accounts, and I'm getting mixed opinions from the few real-life people I've talked to about it, so I could use the advice of total strangers. I, 26 female, and my husband, 27 male, have been married for just over a year and together for 4. We spent a long time before getting married, talking about what we wanted out of being married, so I thought we were on the same page about all the important things. I do love him very much. He is sweet, helpful, and generally my dream partner until last week. Out of the blue, he sat down one night and said he wanted to talk about something. I thought it was just something minor he was frustrated about, or a bad day at work or something. Instead, he talked about how he found out that his best guy friend and his wife are polyamorous. He and his friend have been talking about it more, and he thinks he might like to try it, and wondered what I thought. I felt instantly sick to my stomach. We've always had a great sex life, and he's never given me any reason to think he was interested in anyone else. I told him that I'm not interested in being in a polyamorous relationship. I want to be monogamous with him for the rest of my life. If it had stopped there, I don't think it would have gotten so bad, but then he asked if I would read about it and then decide. I said no, I already know how I feel about it. He asked if I would at least think about it, and for some reason, that just did something to me. Like instant revulsion, kind of upset. I got up and told him that I was too upset to keep talking and that I needed some space, so I would sleep in the guest room that night and we could talk later. Ever since that night, I've had the biggest ick anytime I see him. He keeps trying to backtrack, but I know he meant what he said about wanting to be polyamorous. It's not so much that he brought it up, it's the 2 other asks after I already said I would never be comfortable with it. It's like that didn't matter to him. He thought he could convince me, and it makes me feel awful. What else is he going to pressure me about if I say no? And if he already wants to sleep with someone else, how can I ever trust him not to do it behind my back? I'm still sleeping in the guest room, and I'm thinking of just asking for a divorce now, when it would be simpler to divide everything up and go our separate ways, instead of waiting until years down the line when I get my heart broken. He could go do whatever he wants, and I could find someone who just wants a good, solid, monogamous relationship with me. The idea is killing me, but I feel like it's going to hurt now no matter what I do. While I do still love him, I don't think I can ever unhear and unsee my husband asking me for an open relationship, and the idea of him touching me makes me feel ill. He's upset and frustrated that I'm punishing him for asking a question, but I honestly don't know what he expected to happen. There is a part of me that thinks maybe divorcing him is being overdramatic, but also, the ick is so strong that I don't have much hope of getting back to where we were. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole. I don't think it's overdramatic to get out of a contract you signed with another person when they are trying to change the terms a year into it. That's a powerful way to say it, and it takes the emotional side out of the picture enough to realize it makes perfect sense. That, and the fact that if your husband gives you the ick, it's obviously over. Plain as day. This will upset someone, but a man who will share you sexually doesn't love you. Odds are he's banking on her not being poly, but accepting him having a side piece. He knows that I do not have sex outside of committed loving relationships. I waited a while until we had sex, and he was my first. Even if I was okay with polyamory, I would never pursue it personally because that's not how I'm built. The thought of having multiple partners at once is just off-putting. I'm pretty sure that is part of his calculus here, thinking that I'll never pursue it, so he'll have all the benefit and none of the difficulty. Why do people jump to divorce as the only move? Why not seek therapy first? I don't think therapy is going to get rid of the ick I feel. Like, I would try it if he was willing, but I think maybe the horse has already left the barn on this one. I don't think there's anything he or a therapist could say that would take away the absolute disgust I feel for him right now. This marriage is over and you need to get out. And I definitely would not have unprotected sex with this man because he's likely already cheating. I don't think that will be a problem right now. I don't even want to be touched, but I probably will take some advice from the thread and get an STI test to be on the safe side. Edit/mini updates. Gosh, this got a lot of replies. I'm reading through them as best I can. I'm going to take the advice to get an STI test, and my gyno is going to work me in today for that. I don't think he would physically cheat, but better safe than sorry. I do think there is probably someone he's interested in, possibly his friend's wife, or maybe even his friend. He's never expressed being bisexual, but that doesn't mean he isn't. I don't know them very well, so I can't speculate on their role in all of this. I'm going to be charitable and assume there are no machinations from their end, and he just picked this up from his friend and ran with it. I want to be clear that I am not ignoring him. We can talk about whatever else is going on, but I'm not ready to continue this conversation with him, and he knows that. I want to be calm for that, and his behavior is not really conducive to a sense of calm right now. Every time he brings it up, makes me a little more disgusted with him, but he seems intent on digging the hole instead of letting things settle. That, and not taking the first no for an answer, is a bigger issue than the poly ask for me. I think I'm going to meet with a lawyer just to go over options. At this point, I don't have a lot of faith in counseling changing how I feel about him now, but I would be willing to try a few sessions to say we gave it a shot. I'll throw that out there tonight and see what he says. Edit 2. He doesn't think counseling is necessary. He just wants to go back to the way things were before bringing it up. I've told him that's not an option. You can't unbreak a bone. It has to heal instead. I asked him if he had someone in mind and he said no, but he's not a very good liar and I don't really believe him. He says it was just an idea and there's no one and nothing has happened, but he also doesn't want to show me the messages between him and his friend so I can understand the content of the conversation they had. I will respect his choice, but it's enough to convince me that there's something he's hiding, even if it's not an affair in progress, and that's a problem. I've got an appointment with a lawyer in a few days. I'm going to wait until after that to make a decision, and I'm going to take a short trip alone to see my grandparents this weekend to get some fresh air and perspective. I'll try to update next week after all the test results come back and I've had a chance to look at all the facts with a professional. Thank you for the kind support and advice. Now for the full update. I took advice from the thread and got an STI panel done. Fortunately, it came back clear. I suggested counseling, but my husband does not think it's necessary. I doubt it will change my feelings, so I'm not going to push for it. He is being overly protective of his phone after I asked to see a message conversation between him and his poly friend to understand the context of the situation. I would not violate his privacy, but there clearly is something he doesn't want me to see, and that's enough. It doesn't matter to me anymore whether there is something already in progress or just the desire for there to be. The shadiness of his behavior tells me what I need to know. I've been tempted to contact his friends directly to get their take, but in the event there is infidelity happening, I would rather not burden myself with the details, to be honest. I had a heart-to-heart with my grandparents this weekend and spoke with a lawyer yesterday. As of right now, I'm planning to move forward with the divorce. With no kids and no joint property or debt, since we were waiting to buy a house until I'm finished with residency, it should be easy to split the financials. The lease on our apartment is up in a couple of months anyway, so I plan to move out after breaking the news and just pay my portion of the rent on the current place until it's renewal time. I'm heartbroken, but I'm convinced that this is the best move. I don't trust him anymore. I'm repulsed by his behavior since the ask, and I think it's best to cut our losses before digging the hole deeper. If he were willing to be transparent and do something to work on re-establishing trust, it would be different, but that's not the case. And I don't want to put in effort that he's not interested in putting in. I will be fine with time. So yeah, not a happy ending, but I think it's in my best overall interest. And if he's not happy with monogamy a year into marriage, his best interest as well. Hopefully, we can part ways quietly and without a lot of fuss. Residency? I didn't read the original post, but if you are going to be a doctor or whatever advanced professional, well, drop his butt as fast as you can. I'm sure your lawyer told you, but do it before you sign a contract for your future salary. What a piece of turd. Sorry you're going through this. My lawyer said the exact same thing. He's working on preparing to file now, so hopefully a month from now I'll be moved out, X will have been served, and most of the rest can be handled through the lawyers. I guess one bright side of this is that I can move closer to work now, so I can get a little more sleep between shifts instead of commuting. You don't think this is a happy ending right now, but future you is gonna be so glad you left. Oh, peace now. X has no idea the amount of work and effort you have to put into being polyamorous. Never mind the amount of communication that has to happen. He doesn't actually want to be polyamorous. He just wants to sleep with other people. Joke will be on him, because he severely overestimated his market value. The internet seems to have a lot of dudes convinced they can have something that's basically polygamy. Lol, good luck with that. Man, I would love to hear his response to knowing he set fire to his whole life. Bet he's willing to go to counseling once divorce is on the table. That's what my soon-to-be ex-husband did, and he was shocked to learn that the window for it had passed. And what do you mean I can't just go back and undo that massive mistake I made? That's the new favorite fad, immediately scheduling therapy or counseling when the partner walks or when they get caught cheating. Personally, that would be insult to injury to me, and all the more reason to dump them. Someone running to therapy because they realize you're walking is being disingenuous. They're just fumbling for a delay. The time to do it honestly was before the fallout happened. Last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she makes traveling no fun? So my wife, 38 female, and I, 36 male, have been together for 8 years. We live in my home state of Arkansas. She is from San Diego. Every year she wants to visit home. We used to fly, but since we have a kid, 2 female, she now wants to drive. I have no problem using all my vacation days for this. She lives here. Traveling is a pain because she overpacks. She used to fill my CX-7 full, but work gave me a $900 car allowance, and we used that to get a full-size Suburban. This time, she loaded that full. I mean front passenger seat to the ceiling so I can't see the mirrors full. We didn't use hardly any of it. At every stop, I carried everything into the hotel because she was afraid it would get stolen. It's a 3-day drive each way. Got through it. I told her she makes traveling miserable because she's also super late. Tell her 10 a.m. and she might arrive by noon. So every day we don't leave the hotel until 12, then she insists we drive until midnight. Ugh, unfun. Anyway, this weekend I was sent on a work conference. They got me a sweet hotel room, a week at a nice resort. I was super excited. We were going to go and leave the baby. The day before, she cancels my mom watching her so she can bring our child, fills the Suburban full again. Mind you, it's my work trip. 5 days, 5 nights. Most of the stuff was just overpacking. She brought a tote of blankets, 1 of towels, 2 of her clothes. Totes. I told her she makes it miserable. The hotel always gets cluttered and full. The night before we leave is always a mess trying to pack and her organizing stuff she brought that never gets used. She freaked out, told me I just want to go hook up and cheat at these things. I invited her, and now she's filing for divorce because I told her, "You're overpacking and insisting we fill every vehicle full and always being late makes me miserable." We were 3 hours late leaving for the conference, so I missed the networking opening night, which in my industry is where people tend to click up. I missed going to the best vendor events, etc. because she insisted I not leave since she was overwhelmed with how messy the hotel room was. Mind you, it was all the stuff she brought, took out of totes and never used, and then the toddler destroyed it. Am I the a-hole? Edit. 1. Yes, I am involved in raising our child. I actually packed for our trip. I had 1 bag for the baby to go to my mom's. Toys, diapers, food, etc. A big bag, but 1 large suitcase. I had a bag packed for my wife and 1 for me. 2. Yes, she has ADHD. 3. She always says she doesn't want to do this. Then the trip comes and she does it. 4. I am not a cheater. She accused me of it last time I went solo. I am exhausted. If she left me, I think I would be done with relationships. My own mental health is wrecked. 5. My boss wasn't mad. He found the whole thing hilarious when I told him. He skipped half of the conference himself. My job wasn't threatened, but to me, it felt like it. 6. I tried the whole packing thing for her and me. I have tried to just accept her issues, but it's gotten worse. When we first got together, she needed a large checked bag for a 2-day trip to Las Vegas. Now she needs an entire Suburban for a week-long trip. 7. One of the issues is the vehicle is so full. If it were just the back, I might be able to deal. But it's so full I can't even see the side mirror. I've expressed how unsafe that is, and she doesn't care. Just yells that I don't understand. 8. Yes, she comes from a hoarder background. Now for the comments. I had to go back and double-check wife's age, because I was certain we were dealing with a late-teen mom or early 20s lady who was just incredibly immature. This woman is 38? What a dumpster fire. How is she functioning in the rest of her life in general? Obviously not the a-hole OP. She is a teacher. She stays at home right now, thanks to landing an incredible job, but she had a teaching job. Never had issues making it to work that I know of. Does she always threaten divorce so casually? Next time, tell her, sure, I'll call the lawyer tomorrow and start that up, and see her face drop at calling her stupid bluff. She sounds really annoying to travel with. And why did you invite her, especially after she canceled childcare? Since you canceled childcare with my mom, you can't come on this trip. If she leaves you because you go on a work trip, your marriage is at the end already. She's doing this on purpose to sabotage your career. Hey man, could you try doing a short trip with her? Telling her that the whole point is that you will take care of everything and she only needs to bring a change of clothes? Take her to spa or resort inn where everything you need will already be there. I think sometimes people have travel anxiety and have never attempted to go light because they're scared they might need something. Do an overnighter first, then start going for more nights away. It might just be that your wife has never tried traveling this way. We did that a few years ago, right before the kid arrived. Told her some friends were coming to visit. In fact, they were coming to house sit. I had her bag packed and away we went. She even commented at the time she loved how freeing it was to only have one bag. Now for her to go anywhere she needs 4 bags, backpack, diaper bag, purse, and another large bag filled with spare food, extra meds, etc. I didn't realize until today she needs mental health help.